Set to go. And they're off. Racing away for tonight's feature, the £25,000 Class 2 Unibet 3 Uniboost a day handicap stakes over a mile and 3 furlongs in the 2 shades of blue. It's Pride of America that goes out there early on by an early couple of lengths margin as well. From in second, Capital Theory, that bright green jacket. Towards the outside in the violet silks is State Legend. More towards the running rail then in the checks of Scarlet and Mauve is Ziggy under Danny Muscat. Hotly fancied Ziggy in this race, going off at a shade of odds on. Vizier towards the outside then of Melek Auri, the green and red silks. Then Sky Defender in those grey and brown colours toward the inside. First start for David O'Meara's team this evening. And the back marker in yellow and black, Callum Shepherd on board, King of the South, as they race on down the far side. And the leader going now further clear. Pride of America, best part of half a dozen lengths in front. Over Capital Theory is racing in second. Third, Just State Legend. Ziggy is in fourth. Then Melek Auri a further couple of lengths away together with Vizier. Next on the inside is Sky Defender. And then came King of the South. The leader's in front by the best part of 8 lengths. And that is Pride of America. Setting a pretty decent tempo down the far side for the others to chase. Capital Theory is racing in second at the far turn. Ziggy is back in third. Then came State Legend and Melek Auri under Adam Farraher. As the leader begins to go by that 4-pole, well on top at the moment. Pride of America, best part of 10 lengths in front. To Capital Theory in second, maybe a bit more than 10 lengths now as they race towards the final 3 furlongs. It's Pride of America making a bold bid under Tom Marquand. Well on top at the moment. The others now looking to give pursuit. Capital Theory ridden along in second. Ziggy is back in third. Then Melek Auri. State Legend ridden for more. Then King of the South and Vizier as the leaders already at the cutaway point and still well on top. Pride of America 10 lengths ahead from Capital Theory in second. Then Ziggy to the outside. Melek Auri to the inside of those two trying to finish off. Now starting to paddle in front. Pride of America still with a handy lead inside the final furlong. Capital Theory has closed the gap to within 5 lengths. But Pride of America, a great ride from the front from Tom Marquand. Pride of America makes all to beat Capital Theory. Ziggy third, then Melek Auri, followed by King of the South.
Tom Marquand rides the other jockeys to sleep there and wins by the best part of 5, maybe 6 lengths from Capital Theory and Ziggy, who chased the end. In fact, the winning distance was shorter than I thought. Capital Theory was making up plenty of ground, but Pride of America has come home a clear-cut winner, and Tom Marquand halfway through this race decided to inject a little bit more pace, and he took 10 lengths out of the field, and the other jockeys were chasing in vain as they swung around the bend. We can see here Franny Norton, one of the first to try and get to this clear-cut leader, but although Pride of America was probably getting a little bit lonely out in front, you don't blame him. He was still able to keep up the momentum and beat quite a nice field here, and we thought it was competitive, but this was a good bit of race riding by Tom Marquand, who has been seen to really good effect on this horse, who's coming back off a long break, his first run since wind surgery, and he gives Amy Murphy a double on the card. Capital Theory chased him in vain but wasn't able to get there, but Pride of America, who clearly was very enthusiastic after that long break, Anthony, but was given a top ride by Tom Marquand.
And it's not the first time, Jess, that Pride of America's done this. When he's allowed a solo on the lead, he can be pretty hard to peg back, but I don't think, George, that either of us are of the opinion that he exactly... Well, he didn't blast off in front, is I think what we're trying to say. The sectionals, I think, will probably back that up.
For sure. The one thing we noticed that he was clicking along at even fractions. There's no doubt, Anthony, that he was racing a little bit exuberantly in Tom's hand, but if you watch his ears, he's got them pricked throughout. He's just racing in a fresh fashion, and Tom managed him beautifully. He didn't get in a fight with him. It was very easy for him to sort of try and rein him back, and he just very soft hands, did everything nice and smooth on the front end. And you see at this point here, he's 2 and a bit lengths clear of Capital Theory, and down the back he's just gradually clicked away from him. Now he is over racing in Tom's hands, but he's not got in a fight with him, and that's ultimately, we never see this on the weather, do we? People just go on an even gallop, and that's what he's done on the front end, and he's just, obviously it's a good performance after a long break. and you have to say well done to Amy Murphy and the team, but it's just unfolded beautifully for him.
It really has. I am a little bit surprised there wasn't any initial pace pressure, or someone maybe half thinking, well, maybe I'll not necessarily follow him right on his tail, but just a little bit closer, because he is a very dangerous horse when he's allowed this. We saw this, I think it was Haydock last summer, where he was a short price favourite and he was allowed to set his own fractions up front. They just couldn't get near him.
No, and we saw the same thing tonight, but you have to understand, Anthony, you've got Franny Norton and Daniel Muscat on Capital Theory and Ziggy, and they obviously feel that he's going too quick because they haven't chased him, and that's the key thing to note. He's gone down the back straight, he's built up a sort of 10-length lead on them, even more than that, I'd say, and at the top of the straight you can see Franny Norton's body language, geez, we better get a move on to chase this fella down, and Tom wasn't going to catch him at that point.
I'd say at the 2 furlong marker, the thing that would pop into Tom Marquand's head would be race fitness. He's returning off a layoff, 217 days off. He's had his perfect ideal setup, but how much is realistically going to be left, given that he's probably not going to be 100% primed for this?
If I was Tom Marquand going to the 2-pole and I just had a little glance on my shoulder, I'd have gone, what a ride I've given this thing. I wouldn't have been thinking...
But that's you, George.
I hope Amy Murphy's not left this horse short. He's just nailed it. He's handled the horse very well. He's a free-going type, as you highlighted beforehand. And he's made a mark of 98 look very workable anyway.
Is he just better than this grade?
Well, it's a pretty deep race, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is he sort of black type company? It's yet to be seen, but he's had wind surgery. He's been off the track for 217 days. It's a very, very strong performance for a first run back, and it makes life even harder when you do that on the front end, because, as you say, you're exposing any weaknesses fitness-wise. Obviously, the wind surgery's had a positive effect. He was disappointed when last seen in France, but up to that point, he'd been very progressive.
I think as well in that Compiègne race, he didn't exactly have it all his own way. It was after a load of progression, and after that connection, just thought, let's draw stumps and see what we have, because he might be 6, but he hasn't taken a massive amount of racing for his age as well. Just a word as well on the jockey, Tom Marquand. He will be heading to not exactly pastures new, pastures old, realistically.
Aussie Tom's going back to Australia, and he had a really successful stint in Japan on a short sort of licence over there, where he went with his wife Holly, and he's off to Australia. I think he's going. I saw Holly Doyle in Oak's house today. I think he's going Wednesday, so he'll be looking forward to that stint over there.
I'm sure he'll be very popular once again. They love him down there, as he showed. He advertised his talents plenty at a lower level and the highest one of all. But Pride of America, a fine ride from Tom Marquand, 11-2, a double on the night for Amy Murphy, having a pot. Dean McAuliffe and Anoj Don, the winning owners. Second, Capital Theory, 3-1. Third, the odds-on favourite Ziggy, 11-10 on. 2:19.48 the winning time, 1.88 the winning, the 1.88 above the standard, I should say, 0.17 furlong per furlong, the highest grade race of the night and the quickest time furlong per furlong. So it's Pride of America who took the feature. Let's get some winning reaction with Jess.
Well, we're just saying your Australian counterparts will be watching that back and think, wow, that was a brilliant ride, Tom. Talk us through, was that always the plan?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie, the plan was always to make the running, and Amy said he was fit and ready to come racing off a break, and it might just be that last 10% today that, because he's quite exuberant, he might just sort of burn himself out, but... Yeah. She's done a fantastic job once again of getting him ready. The last time I rode him, he was off a break, and he won well that day doing similar. So, look, Amy's obviously learnt what he can do down to a T and got him straight for today.
Did you look round at one point and think, you know, this horse going so well, may as well just kick again?
I didn't even bother looking, because I've rode him before, and he's got that one nice cruising speed, and I thought I'd have him all in a bit of trouble by the 4-pole, and when you know you've got that bit of a deficit, you can just sort of keep moving forward and try and take the race away from them. But yeah, you have to have the partner to do it, and he bowled out from the 4 down to the 2 really well, and obviously went and hit the line too, so good performance.
Well, we know you're going off to Australia. Rides like that would be quite fun when you're out there.
Yeah, it's tactics down like that down there work quite well sometimes. So yeah, try and pull one or two off if I can.
Yeah, well, good place to practice it. Well done.
Thanks, Jess.
Thanks, Tom.